Hello there, and welcome back to the podcast. So excited that you're here with me today. We have kind of postponed some of our roundtable discussions because of COVID and what's been happening. So you're stuck with me again on a solo episode. And today we're going to be talking about the clarity of working with a real client project. And this was, I know last week I talked about or on a couple of the last episodes of the Real Client Project, I talked about my kind of first custom project. And this was another one that was a living room custom project. Very different clients, very different look and style. So it's it was a fun one to do as well. And I'm going to hop into it here. But before I do, I just want to remind you that if you are watching me here on YouTube, then hello, and make sure that you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell below, and you'll get notified every time I publish a new video. And if you're listening to the podcast, welcome, and make sure that you are also subscribed so you get my updates every time I post a new podcast, which currently is every other Friday. All right, let's dig into it here. We are talking about, like I said, this was in 2014, and I'm going to go through my CLAIRE-ity. So I'm just going to explain what that is here. You'll see it come up on the side for those watching on YouTube. So we look at the clients, we look at how they located me, we look at the assignment. So what was the project that they hired me to do? The initial consultation fee, because I really like to share with you the initial consultation fee plus the next, which is rates for the project, because that kind of puts things into perspective and when I did the project and what I was billing at that time. Then we also have the events. So what happened? So there's the Claire in CLAIRE-ity. And then we have in the end. So what did I learn from it? What did I, what happened actually? And then the takeaway is what I learned from it. And then the why is over to you. You tell me about the situation if you had something similar. So I always like to get your feedback. Especially you can comment on the blog, which I have corresponding with this podcast as well, or on my YouTube channel. So, oh my gosh, is this thing even on? Thank gosh. Yeah, it is. You know what? Sometimes you get so many buttons to hit and things to charge that you forget. Okay. So let's just dive in here. This project was the clients. They were a family with younger kids, with a couple of 6-year-old girls, and they were local to me. So I love that. It was literally like a 10-minute drive up the road, and they were busy working professionals. So both of them worked full time, professional, jobs. I believe one was downtown Toronto area. And I just love the busy working professionals, because as myself being a busy working professional, I like to hire out people to do things for me that I know I'm not great at, or that I need help with, or that they are the professional in. So I really love that. They located me on house, as I've said before, many used to, and that's where I was getting the bulk of my clients at that time. And sorry, this was in 2014, if I didn't already say that. Okay. The assignment. So the project itself was a family room, and their email to me was that they were basically saying they don't know where to start. They don't have the time or the energy to do it themselves. Perfect. That's why you hire a professional, right? And it had been 10 years since I updated it. So this is also where it's really important to manage your client's expectations in terms of cost. Because if you haven't bought anything, your client hasn't bought anything, for 10 years, that's a long time. And furniture pricing has gone up. Things have changed. Styles have changed. I mean, how many times have you guys, been with clients and you mention wallpaper and they might cringe thinking of the 70s, back to like the late 70s and 80s of wallpaper. And obviously we've come a very long way with wallpaper. So things change. So it's really great to have these conversations with your clients off the bat. And they were also looking to do custom built-ins and, just everything basically new in their room, which was great. The initial consultation fee, this was in 2014, so I was 3 years into my business, and that was $300 for 2 hours. Just to give you some context on that, I've recently raised my rates. I'm now $700 for 2 hours. And the rates for the project, so this was for a 3D design plan a mood board. I sourced all of the items. They were all coming from my trade center. And I charge $1,500 for this plan. Now, what we do is we start that at $2,500. And I try not to do the 3D design because I find that with the 2D design and with the mood boards, it's enough really. And obviously the 3D designs are a lot more work. They can be more work especially if you're uploading fabrics and artwork and that, which you can do on these programs, which is fabulous. But obviously it takes a little more time. So that was $1,500. And just to be clear on that, that is taking them to the point of presentation. It's still the way that I work now. I have a hybrid model, right? So I have the design plans, the concepts, the sourcing up to the point of presentation. And then after presentation, we go hourly. So clients know exactly what they're going to be billed for the plan itself. And then we go hourly afterwards. And I just find that that helps because often we have scope creep or things happen that are out of your out of your control, and you have to obviously deal with it because that's your job as project managing for a decorating project. So I have found that if I were to charge a flat fee, which I kind of go back and forth on this, I would probably charge a full flat fee of $5,000 per room. Now that's what I would charge because we've worked it out. That's pretty much what it entails, the time that it entails, that would cover us, the extra $2,500. And then obviously we're making money off of all of the items that we're selling to the client, which is not double dipping, by the way. That is called smart business, running a smart business and making sure that you're being profitable. Okay. So their budget for the project was $25,000. And that was including built-ins, but not including my fee. So we had that conversation up front. So I just said, by the time we go through my budgeting sheet, which explains, we go through, every item that they're going to need in the room. And then I give them a range, right? So I say, okay, for the sofa, you're looking anywhere from like $2,500 to $5,000, or, we go through the ranges and then we can see, okay, so, your entire room is going to cost anywhere from, $24,000 to $38,000, or, it's good to have that range and not just say, okay, great, I'm going to come right in at 25,000, because clients need to understand that, of course, there's things that, you could go high end. There's things that you can definitely go low on, which I have no problem in doing, but there are certain things that I want to make sure that clients are investing in that are going to last, a long time for them in their home and not just, waste that money. So that was their budget was 25,000. And just to give you a bit of an idea with that, we looked at 12,000 for the built-in. So I had my guy come in. We needed to do some work to the fireplace. There was currently just a fireplace on the wall, so we had to bring the fireplace out. So we had the gas guy come out to do the work that was necessary. Always make sure you have your proper trades that are licensed to do, the job that is required. We also did some tile from bottom all the way to the top of the built-ins. And then we had beautiful custom built-ins with lighting, and it was gorgeous, and didn't quite go to the ceiling, but we had like crown details, and it was my guy was great. And again, it's just great to have that custom. They were going to be staying in their house for a while. They knew that that's what they wanted. And so they were super happy, but I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, jumping ahead here, I get so excited. So basically for the sectional, 2 custom swivel chairs, stationary panels. For drapery, we did not require the fabric the drapes did not need to close. They had blinds there, which, little tip, in the actual photo shoot, I had my photographer block out those blinds because I didn't love them so much, and I just wanted you to see just the panel drapery. So we also had a little side table, a mirrored side table, a couple of lamps, and a set of 3 mirrors and an area rug. So that was, at the time, $12,500. Remember, what I'm quoting here is in Canadian dollars. And they gave me, at that time, I was doing a deposit of 50% for furnishings. So now, if you follow me and you're in my group, Interior Design Business Strategies, on Facebook, or you watch any videos, 100%, guys, get 100% upfront, please, for furnishings. Never be left out of pocket. We do this now. It's just part of our process. We don't get pushback because that's the process. So when you have your processes in place and you're firm with them and you explain to clients why you have your processes the way that they are. Not that we need to go into too much detail on that. It is what it is. But yeah, so now I get 100%. So that was just kind of interesting to look back on my invoice and going, oh yeah, I took 50% at that time. So yeah, and then my services overall for the project was $3,200 plus the consultation. So $3,500 is what it came out to. So at that time, I was saying really you're looking at around 15% of the overall budget, because I know sometimes people say, well, what would you charge? You charge by the square foot? You charge by the budget of the project? And at that time, it was just really working out that when we would kind of look back on the projects afterwards, we were going, oh, okay, we're around 15 to 20%. So if the project was $25,000, then our services anywhere from the $3,500 to $5,000. So, and we're still kind of in that range, but now we're more at the 20% mark. Okay. So the events. So what happened? What kind of happened? Honestly, this project went relatively smoothly. I enjoyed working with these clients. I enjoyed having my guy work with me to do the paint work, the custom built-ins, the fireplace. The only thing that I would say, so a couple things that happened actually was while I had just placed the order, right? I just placed the order and I confirmed with my clients, orders have been placed. These are your estimated, ETAs, estimated time of arrivals for deliveries. And the only thing is probably like a week later, my client emailed me like just kind of gone into a little bit of a panic mode. Like, I'm not sure about the drapery now. I'm not sure if the colors were, what I wanted, or maybe we should have gone with a different shade of sofa for the solid fabric. Just really questioning stuff. And I emailed back, this is our job. Like, I emailed back, I was confident in everything I chose. So this is what I told her. I said, listen, I would not have put together those fabrics with the sofa fabric and the pillows and everything if I did not think it was going to look amazing in your space, right? So it's our job to reassure our clients that, if they go through this little panic mode, and the other thing is, honestly, it was really too late. I mean, everything had been ordered, right? So, there was really no turning back on custom orders at that point. So I just reassured her, and she said, okay, that's fine. So she was okay. So everything went smoothly. What I will say is, one of the things that happened was afterwards, a mirror had fallen. So we had a set of 3 mirrors, and my main concern was obviously that no one was hurt. That everything was okay. And my client said, yep, everyone's fine. It's just that one night we were eating dinner and in the living room, we just heard this noise and the mirror had fallen off the wall. So no problem. So again, that's the beauty. And this is also part of how you sell to your clients about, the benefit of your services is they just need to contact me and I'm taking care of it for them. I contacted my design center. They said, no problem. We'll order a new one. They ordered a new one. We took away the other. We rehung the new one, and I do all that free of charge. That's part of the service, of just coming back to me and having me, deal with anything. And of course it wasn't anything massive. Like, it wasn't like a huge ordeal. And like I said, luckily no one was hurt. The other thing that actually happened, so I really encourage you all to follow up with your clients, maybe a couple months later, check in. How's it going? Are you still loving your living room? And they messaged me back saying, we love the living room. We love everything you put together. We get tons of compliments on it when people come in, and it's the built-ins are such a focal point, and, we're really enjoying the space. They said, but they've noticed that the feathers were popping out of their sectional fabric of the cushions. And so I was like, oh, really? I was like, okay, can you send me some photos? So they sent me some photos. I got in touch with my design center and I said, this seems to be a little bit of a problem that's happening with them, with the sofa. And so my design center reached out to the supplier. So again, this is why I also love it, because I'm just dealing with my design center for I'm not going to like the mirror place and the sectional place. Like, I'm dealing with my one design center where I purchased everything. And I know that sometimes people are definitely working with different vendors directly. I just love my design center. So they said they got in touch with the vendor and they said, yeah. So what had happened was the vendor had, to try to save money on costs of things, they had changed their suppliers for the wrap that goes around the cushion. So not the actual fabric, obviously, but the wrap that goes around the foam inside. within the sofa cushion. And so what had happened was it was not the same quality it was before. So these feathers were poking through a lot more easier. So they said, no problem. If you can just bring them to the design center, bring the pillows, which I did. And actually, no, my client brought them to the design center. And then I picked them up afterwards. And so they just didn't have cushions for like maybe 2 or 3 days. And I picked them up afterwards. I remember going with my son and my clients, they weren't home, and they left me the key to get into the house, and we went in and we put them back. And so I followed up, about a week later and said, how's everything going? They're like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. Perfect. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you, doing this and following up with us. And we weren't sure whether we should say something to you. And I said, always, please, never hesitate to reach out if there's something, and if I can fix it. And if it's not something that's been, jumped on and, purposely kind of crazy wear and tear, then yes, if we warranty it, then absolutely. So they were thrilled about that. And the other thing I was going to say, so in the end, so the feedback form, so I have a feedback form that we filled out with them. So what I did was I did send it to them ahead of time. But they hadn't filled it out ahead of time. I brought a bottle of wine. We came in, we sat down, and, so we talked about, like I do, different aspects of the project. Was the paperwork pertaining to recommendations and the product information and floor plans helpful? Yes, very helpful for them to visualize. It just basically everything that I said, they have really lovely feedback with the phone calls and emails replied to on time. Yes, that was all good. The only thing they said was, did you feel that you received value for money? Was there any time you did not feel that you received value for money? And they said, no, everything was great. What they would have liked to have had a better handle on was, what it was going to be for my fee. And so again, I was just a few years in, so it was a little bit tricky for me to really have nailed down what my fee was going to be. But I did say to them at the beginning, we're generally around like 10 to 20% of the overall project price, which we did come in at. So that was great. Everything went well. She said, how do you feel you benefit most from my services? They said they were just feeling so overwhelmed. When they thought about doing this project on their own, they had no idea where to start. Like I said, they didn't have the time or energy. That was in their initial questionnaire. They just did not know how it was going to work. And they said to have the recommendations, to have my trades come in, to have me purchase everything ended up being just such a stress relief for them, right? Is that the right term I'm going for there, right? And so the other thing was, my biggest takeaway for me was that when the orders are placed and when the client emailed me and they were a little bit panicked, and me reassuring her that everything was going to be fine. I know everything's going to look fabulous. And she did actually, she really, after the install, we did the install, the clients were not home. It was during the day. And in the evening, she reached out to me because I said to her, everything's all set up and I hope you love it when you get home. And of course I left her some flowers and, she emailed me literally like, oh my gosh, everything is perfect. Like, I was nervous about the drapery, but it looked amazing. Like, I wasn't sure, about the fabric for the sofa, but it was perfect. And so, I mean, her whole email was just like, just so, like, when I received it, I was like gushing. I was just so excited and so pleased and thrilled that they were as happy as what we were with the way that it had all come together. And, she had said to me, what can I do? Can I give you a review? Because that's how they found me on Houzz and they loved my reviews. So I said, you know what, this email that you sent me, you could literally just copy and paste it into Houzz and put that review in for me. And so she did. So that was great. So that's one thing that I would say was probably my biggest takeaway, because when she started to panic, I started to feel like, oh my goodness, like, God, I hope then I start to second guess things, right? I pull out her file. I'm like, no, these fabrics look great. And no, everything fits lovely in my plan. So just reassuring your client, because really, like I said, there's nothing you can do at a certain point when things have been ordered or things are in motion. I mean, if you really think something was not going to work out well, or you had doubts, then yeah, you need to contact your people and figure it out before you reach out to your client to say, hey, I think we need to make some changes. But really, it was just more or less, she just needed that little bit of extra hand holding. And in the end, it all worked out beautifully. So that was a great project. So this is where my pricing guides come in so handy. I've just launched my pricing guides, and if you're not familiar with these are a set of 6 living rooms, 5 bedrooms, and basically the prices of every single furnishing within that space. They range from high to low. There's different styles of projects that we've worked on. And these have been super helpful for me in my business for managing clients' expectations. Because now when I have clients who, are asking me how much may it cost, or, we haven't decorated for a really long time, I will actually send them a couple of rooms. If they're talking about a bedroom, or if we're talking about a living room, I will send them a couple of rooms that we've done. And I will say, these are an idea of what you can expect in terms of pricing, that we're also looking for clients to invest in. So again, it depends on how you're working with the client, whether it's for, full custom decorating services or a designer for a day. But, my pricing guides, if you guys aren't aware, I'm going to have comments in the comments below, and check the description. You can check on my website. Soon we're going to have an actual shop badge on my website, which will make it a lot easier, but always feel free to DM me. But these are pricing guides. I've got 2 sets that are, available right now. When you bundle them, you save. And designers, you guys are giving me some fabulous feedback on that, saying, "Oh my gosh, I've even seen some of you. Someone printed them off. They put them in a binder, and they showed me a video, and they put it on Facebook and said how they're using it for their clients in their welcome." Packet, not their welcome packet, sorry, but they're in their initial consultation, which is exactly how I use it. I bring them now to my consultations so I can have clients flip through them and look. We hear about the good, better, best spreadsheets, but this is actually takes it to that next level, because I'm actually showing you actual rooms. You can show your clients these spaces. They can see, okay, these chairs were $1,400 each, and these ones here were $800 each. Okay, I can kind of see the difference of, the detail that's involved. So huge help for designers and for myself. That's why I always create anything I create is within mind to help you guys. So anyway, so make sure you check out my website for that at clairejefford.com. And so that's been really helpful. And so these clients was a great project. Over to you. Let me know, how do you, kind of manage your clients' expectations in terms of, have you ever had clients kind of second guess something on the project, and how did you reassure them? So that's part of our job, and we're good at what we do. We just have to believe in ourselves and have the confidence, and keep smiling. So, all right, you guys, this has been another episode of TNT, the Naked Truth Podcast. I'm your host, Claire Jefford, with Dynamite CLAIRE-ity. We're your interior design business. Make sure that you're subscribed to my channel here if you're watching me on YouTube. Hit the bell, and you'll be notified every time I publish a new video. And if you're listening to the podcast, then thank you. Cheers. Share with your friends, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.